Hello kids, Assalamu alaikum. I hope you all are taking good care of yourself as well as your studies. This is your Asra ma'am and today we'll start a new chapter. So welcome to the chapter number 16, India Wins Freedom. Before we go ahead, let's have a look at the contents. So the contents look like this. We have introduction to chapter, partition of Bengal, Swadeshi and boycott movement, the revolutionaries, Gandhiji leads the nation, Jallianwala Bagh massacre, and Simon Commission, civil disobedience movement and Quit India movement, Indian National Army, India becomes free, independent India. Now let's have a look at in this part what we're going to discuss today. Today we'll learn about introduction to chapter India Wins Freedom, partition of Bengal, Swadeshi and boycott movement, and we'll learn about the revolutionaries. My dear students, in our last chapter of India Towards Freedom, we learned about Indian National Congress. Indian National Congress came into existence to create a platform for the dialogue between British and India because they wanted to get something good from the British government for India. The Indian National Congress had achieved limited success during the early years of its freedom movement. The early leaders of Indian National Congress were known as moderates. So if you come across moderates, you know who moderates are. Moderates are the early leaders of Indian National Congress, as they basically believed in pleading with the English government for reforms. Dadabhai Naoroji and Gopal Krishna Gokhale. These were the moderate leaders. As you can see in the picture, these are the two moderate leaders of Indian National Congress. Another group of leaders within the Indian National Congress itself was formed who wanted to strongly oppose the English. They were called the radicals. So moderates are who were in favor and they wanted to get something out of the English government, but radicals were strongly in opposition to the English government. They were in favor of even organizing strikes and doing the boycotts. Lala Lajpat Rai, Bal Gangadhar Tilak and Bipin Chandra Pal. As you can see the below pictures, these were popularly called as Lal, Bal, Pal, and these were the three popular radical leaders. We all are aware, we might have heard about it. Swaraj is my birthright and I shall have it. This is a very popular slogan which was given by Bal Gangadhar Tilak. Before we move to discuss partition of Bengal, we all should remember that in our last chapter of India Towards Freedom, we discussed certain policies, certain points that British government wanted to implement to get rid of Indians. So one of the policy that they applied was divide and rule. Divide and rule they divided Bengal into East Bengal and West Bengal. That is where partition of Bengal came into existence. Yes, in 1905, the English wanted to make partition of Bengal with one part having large Hindu population and the other part with Muslim population. The British wanted to make partition of Bengal to divide the Hindus and Muslims from unitedly fighting against the British. Yes, that is what they wanted to do. The main reason for the partition of Bengal was to divide Hindus and Muslims so that they cannot fight against the British as a one hand. People strongly opposed the partition of Bengal and it led to the launch of Swadeshi movement and boycott movement. Now let's see what Swadeshi and boycott movement is. The meaning of Swadeshi is of one's own country. People were forced to boycott all the foreign goods and use only the goods made in India. Yes, that is the movement that was started where all the people in India at that point of time they were asked to not buy any kind of foreign good but to use only and only goods that were made in India. Swadeshi movement was started to popularize the use of Indian made goods so that Indian industries could prosper. At that point of time, Indian industries were not making much profit because a lot of people were using the products that was coming from abroad, that was coming from the British government. So that's the reason that Swadeshi movement came into play, because they wanted people to make use of the Indian made goods. Foreign goods were burnt. Large number of women and students took part in Swadeshi and boycott movements. The movements were started in Bengal and it spread across the whole country. The British government tried to suppress the movements in various ways. So whenever you come across Swadeshi movement and somebody asks you, do you know where did this movement start? Yes, it started in Bengal and then it spread across the whole country. Now let's have a look at the revolutionaries. Few young people from Bengal, Punjab, and Maharashtra thought that the moderates and radicals could not achieve in driving out British from India, because both moderates and radicals they had a different ideology. Moderates were in favor of the British government, while as radicals totally opposed the British government. So they never could come to the same conclusion as to how do we fight British and how do we drive them out from India. That is why few people from Bengal, Punjab, Maharashtra thought that we need to do something else so that we drive British from India. They actually wanted to drive out the British from India by forceful methods, and they called themselves as revolutionaries. Aurobindo Ghosh, Ajit Singh, Khudiram Bose, and Veer Savarkar were few of the early revolutionaries. They killed some British officers. Later, some of them were arrested as well and were hanged by the British government because they were a threat to the British government. British government wanted to get rid of them so that the other people are not getting influenced by these revolutionaries. Alright, children, now let's quickly recapitulate what we learnt in today's class. We learnt about the two groups of Indian National Congress: moderates, who were in favor of British, and radicals, who were totally against the British, which actually led to Swadeshi and boycott movement. Swadeshi movement came into existence to make people buy Indian goods and boycott the foreign goods. And seeing this, Britishers wanted to suppress the unity. So they came up with the partition of Bengal idea to divide Hindus and Muslims. And Indian people, Indian population could see that moderates and radicals could not achieve much. So revolutionaries came into picture, who even killed some of the British men because they were so much against them. But in turn, some of them got hanged as well. Thank you so much for paying attention, and please make sure you're taking care of yourself by maintaining first social distance, washing hands regularly, and staying inside. Have an awesome time ahead. Take care and study well. Allah Hafiz.